They operate in the silent shadows, strike with ruthless precision, and disappear long before their enemies even realize what happened. Germany's elite special forces aren't just soldiers, they are precision-built instruments of war. Forged through suffering, sharpened by impossible training, and feared by enemies across the world, these men carry out missions that have remained classified for decades. From clandestine operations deep in enemy territory to lightning-fast counterterrorism raids, their every move is a calculated masterpiece of discipline, intelligence, and raw lethality. Operating in total secrecy, German special forces have been quietly proving themselves as some of the most capable warriors on the planet. Today, we reveal the untold power of Germany's most savage special forces units that leaves other soldiers terrified. 15. Kommando Spezialkräfte, KSK. The KSK is where Germany's special operations power truly begins to shine. Born from a national embarrassment in 1994 when Belgian forces had to rescue German citizens during the Rwanda genocide because Germany lacked its own rapid response capability. The KSK was officially activated in 1996 as a brigade-level unit. Based in Württemberg, this force handles everything from hostage rescue to direct action missions behind enemy lines. What makes the KSK truly terrifying is their structure. They operate in 4 commando companies, each containing 100 elite operators organized into specialized platoon. The first platoon masters vehicle insertions for rapid strikes. The second owns airborne operations. The third dominates amphibious warfare. The fourth, they are built for the most extreme environments imaginable, from scorching hot deserts to Arctic wastelands where most soldiers would freeze within hours. Every 4-man squad is a self-contained killing machine. 1 weapon specialist, 1 medic, 1 combat engineer for breaching and demolitions, and 1 communications expert. Some squads pack heavier firepower with additional specialists. They train at 17 different schools worldwide, mastering Arctic survival in Norway, mountain warfare in Austria, desert combat in Israel, and jungle operations in Belize. The selection process of this savage special forces unit is absolutely brutal. Week 1 starts with 3 weeks of physical and psychological torture that eliminates 60 of candidates right away. Those who survive face a 3-month endurance phase deep in the Black Forest with a pass rate of just 8 to 10. If you make it through, you earn the right to begin the legendary 2 to 3 year training cycle across 20 specialized courses. The KSK doesn't just create soldiers. They forge legends who regularly train alongside the British SAS, the US Delta Force, and other Tier 1 operators. 14. Mobile Einheitskommando MEK. Most people have never heard of the MEK, and that's exactly how these operators prefer it. Operating as the plain-clothed shadow partners to Germany's tactical units, MEK teams are the ghosts of German law enforcement. While SEK kicks down doors in full tactical gear, MEK operators blend into crowds, tail suspects for weeks, and strike when nobody sees it coming. These specialized surveillance units exist in every German state, targeting organized crime syndicates, blackmailers, and high-value individuals who believe they are untouchable. MEK operators master the art of mobile operations, conducting quick arrests, resolving hostage situations on the move, and protecting state leaders when threats emerge. The terrifying beauty of MEK is their invisibility. They could be the person sitting next to you on the train, the driver in the car behind you, or the shopper at the grocery store. Their training requirements are slightly less strict than SEK, but don't let that fool you. These operators need exceptional judgment, nerves of steel, and the ability to make split-second decisions without backup nearby. When a criminal organization thinks they've covered their tracks, when a kidnapper believes they're in control, MEK is already there watching, waiting, and preparing to strike. They are the reason major crime bosses in Germany sleep with one eye open. 13. Gebirgsjäger, Mountain Infantry. Conducting military operations at 10,000 feet in the Alps means battling freezing temperatures that plunge to -30, thin air that steals your breath, and terrain where a single misstep can send you crashing down a mountainside. Now add enemy fire to the mix. For the Gebirgsjäger, Germany's elite mountain infantry from Bavaria's 23rd Mountain Infantry Brigade, these are routine work conditions. These troops trace their lineage back to the legendary Alpenkorps of World War I and wear the iconic Edelweiss flower as their symbol. But this isn't some ceremonial unit living off past glory. Modern Gabba Jaga are light infantry specialists trained to fight in terrain that would break regular soldiers. Every battalion fields about 900 troops organized into specialized companies, including a heavy company equipped with Weisel armored vehicles for fire support in impossible terrain. The physical demands are crushing. To earn the right to wear the Edelweiss on your cap, you must complete the notorious Edelweiss March, a brutal mountain endurance test. These soldiers routinely use mules and specialized equipment to haul weapons and supplies up slopes that vehicles cannot drive on. They train in Arctic warfare, high-altitude combat and mountain survival techniques that keep them alive when nature itself becomes the enemy. The Gabbergs Jager have been deployed to Afghanistan, the Balkans, and numerous crisis zones where their unique skills make the difference. When military planners look at a mountain range and say that's impassable, the Gabberg Jager see it as their highway to victory. 12. Farm Georgia paratroopers. Germany's modern paratroopers carry forward a legacy that terrified Allied forces during World War II, as enemy soldiers called them, the Green Devils. Today's Fehler Jager serves as the backbone of Germany's Rapid Forces Division, maintaining a force of around 10,000 troops ready to deploy anywhere in the world within hours. Organized primarily into Airborne Brigade 1 based in Sarawi, these troops are either air assault infantry or traditional paratroopers who jump into combat zones. What sets them apart is their EGB Air Vita designation. Eibfolger are specialized paratroopers with expanded capabilities, essentially creating a tier of operators between conventional infantry and full special forces. The EGB selection process is unforgiving. Candidates face obstacle courses, grueling ruck marches, swimming tests, and relentless assessments of physical and mental stamina. Those who survive attend a 6-month training cycle at the Special Operations School in Pfullendorf, earning their combat-ready status and the coveted EGB badge. During their careers, they receive advanced training in communications, weapons, demolitions, advanced medicine, mountain warfare, and amphibious operations. These units were a part of terrifying combat during Germany's 20-year deployment in Afghanistan, particularly during the 2010 Battle of Good Friday, where 3 paratroopers were killed holding the line against Taliban forces. The Fehler Jager Regiment 263 became the most decorated unit in the modern German army, earning the nation's highest awards for gallantry. When Germany needs rapid deployment to crisis zones, the Fehler Jager are wheels up and airborne before most units have even finished their briefings. 11. Naval Force Protection Battalion, Seebataillon. The Satalan is the German Navy's multi-tool for violent maritime operations. Formed in 2014 and based in Ekerna, this 1,100-strong battalion operates under the motto from shore to sea, from sea to shore. They are the naval infantry force that other navies are terrified of. Split into 8 specialized companies, the battalion covers an insane operational spectrum. The 2 maritime operations companies conduct ship examinations and boarding operations, securing vessels against piracy or terrorism. The Shore Force Protection Company handles beach assaults, urban combat, and convoy security in hostile ports. The Reconnaissance Company deploys UAVs for coastal surveillance, while snipers and intelligence specialists gather battlefield data. Then there's the Clearance Diver Company, arguably one of the most dangerous jobs in military service. These operators disarm booby traps, defuse sea mines, and eliminate explosive threats both underwater and on land. One wrong move and it's over. The battalion also fields specialized boarding teams trained to storm hostile ships, a skill that requires climbing rope ladders under fire while waves crash onto you. The Sea Battalion works closely with the Dutch Naval Infantry, the Corps Mariners, in a Bational amphibious group, giving Germany the ability to project power anywhere on the planet's coastlines. When merchant ships need protection, ports require security, or amphibious operations are ordered, the Seebataillon answers the call. They are the reason hostile forces think twice before threatening German maritime interests. 10 EGB Forces, Specialized Army Forces. Established in 2007, EGB forces were created to bridge a critical gap. The German army needed a unit that fell between regular infantry and full special forces, one with enhanced skills that could support Tier 1 operations or handle specialized missions independently. The EGB delivers exactly that capability. Most EGB operators come from airborne units, forming for specialized companies embedded within paratrooper battalions. In 2015, Germany dissolved the legendary Fern 200 long-range reconnaissance unit and absorbed those elite capabilities into EGB reconnaissance companies. This created a force with serious teeth. Selection is brutal and mirrors the standards of special forces. Candidates undergo multi-day assessments that include obstacle courses, ruck marches, underwater challenges, and psychological evaluations designed to test their resilience. Only 30 to 40 survive to reach the 6-month training cycle at Pfullendorf. The curriculum includes advanced marksmanship, high-risk mission planning, and specialized infiltration techniques. EGB forces have deployed to Afghanistan with ISAF, Mali with UN peacekeeping missions, and northern Iraq for capacity-building operations. Their job is to provide direct support to KSK Special Operations Task Forces, conduct personnel recovery, serve as quick reaction forces, and execute direct action missions when the situation demands more than infantry but doesn't require full special forces deployment. 9. Fernpair Long-Range Reconnaissance. The Fernpair are Germany's ghosts behind enemy lines. They are operators who disappear into hostile territory for days and weeks to gather intelligence that shapes entire campaigns. The primary unit Fernpair Company 200 was established in the 1960s based on Finnish long-range patrol tactics from World War II. These soldiers cover enormous distances deep in enemy territory, surviving on carried supplies or air-dropped resupply, conducting reconnaissance missions that require absolute stealth. Detection means death. So every movement is calculated and breath is controlled. This unit consisted of 4 special reconnaissance platoon, technical intelligence specialists, mobile medical squads, and support groups totaling over 220 troops. The Fernpair selection process was legendary. Candidates needed exceptional physical fitness, mental toughness, and the psychological stability to operate alone in extreme isolation. Training covered long-range navigation, advanced camouflage, survival in any environment, and the ability to call in precision strikes using intelligence they gathered. The unit's motto, Eyes and Ears of the Division, reflects their Finnish inspiration, emphasizing suffering in silence without complaint. When the KSK formed in 1996, many Fernpair operators transferred to the new Special Forces Command, bringing their expertise in deep reconnaissance. The remaining operators operated independently until 2014 when it was absorbed into EGB reconnaissance units. Fernpair was deployed to Bosnia, Kosovo, and Afghanistan, conducting missions that remain classified to this day. 8 Spezialkräfte SK units are Germany's state-level tactical police forces, and they are the reason high-risk criminals in Germany know they are living on borrowed time. Established in 1974, starting with North Rhine-Westphalia, every one of Germany's 16 states now operates its own SEK team, typically fielding 40 to 70 highly trained operators. Berlin's SEK leads the pack with up to 500 deployments annually, averaging 1 operation every single day. While most tactical units only deploy occasionally, Berlin SEK operators are constantly in action, serving high-risk warrants, raiding organized crime operations, and resolving hostage situations. Some SEK units have specialized components. The Bavarian SEK includes Alpine-trained operators. Bremen and Hamburg SEK have maritime-qualified teams for waterborne operations. The selection process is crushing. Any state police officer with 3 years of experience can apply, but only 30 of them survive the tests. Candidates face 5 to 8 months of intensive training covering marksmanship, land navigation, rappelling, medical training, and operational planning under extreme stress. Successful candidates wear masks during operations to protect their identities and are referred to only by numbers in court proceedings. Since 1974, German SEK units have handled thousands of deployments. Yet, they've only fired shots 5 times. That's not weakness, that's precision. These operators are trained to resolve situations without pulling triggers whenever possible. But when violence is necessary, they deliver it with terrifying accuracy. Some SEK operators have trained with the KSK Special Forces Command, adding parachuting and demolition skills to their already deadly repertoire. 7. Helicopter Wing 64. Special operations mean nothing if you can't get operators to the target. And that's where Helicopter Wing 64 enters the battlefield. Based at Holzdorf Air Base, this aviation unit exists for one purpose: delivering Germany's special forces anywhere they need to go, no matter how dangerous. In 2015, the KSK established its own organic aviation component, which included 15 utility helicopters specially modified for special operations. These aren't your standard transport birds. They are equipped for terrifying night operations, all-weather insertions, and flying into hot zones where enemy fire is guaranteed. The pilots undergo training that rivals the special forces operators they transport. Low-level flight through mountain valleys at night. Insertion into urban areas where buildings create wind turbulence that can cause helicopters to flip. Extraction under fire with operators fast roping while enemy tracers light up the sky. These aviation crews practice until these missions become routine. They coordinate with the German Air Force's helicopter units for larger operations, creating a combined aviation force that can move entire special operations task forces. During the 2021 Kabelebel evacuation, these helicopters proved their worth by conducting round-the-clock operations in one of the world's most dangerous airspaces. When KSK operators needed rapid extraction after a mission in Afghanistan went sideways, Helicopter Wing 64 pilots flew through enemy fire to get their people out. The motto is simple: leave no one behind, whatever it takes. 6. Naval Air Wing 5. Naval Air Wing 5 operates from Nordholz, providing the German Navy Special Forces with aerial firepower and mobility. Flying Westland Lynx and Sea King helicopters, these aviators specialize in maritime special operations that keep KSM operators alive. The mission set is unique. Inserting combat swimmers onto hostile coastlines at night, extracting boarding teams from hijacked vessels, conducting aerial reconnaissance over target areas before commando raids, providing airborne fire support when operations go loud. The air crew coordinates with ship-based operations, often landing on vessels in rough seas while the deck pitches and rolls. These pilots train alongside British Royal Navy aviators and other NATO Special Operations aviation units, sharing techniques and building interoperability. When KSM frogmen need to reach an offshore oil platform, Naval Air Wing 5 gets them there. When a German naval vessel is threatened, these helicopters provide overwatch with door gunners ready to engage. Their operations rarely make headlines, but they are the terrifying invisible shield protecting Germany's maritime interests. 5. Minor mine clearance divers. Imagine a job where one wrong move, one miscalculation, or one moment of panic means you're vaporized underwater. That is the daily reality for Germany's Minentaucher, the mine clearance divers of the German Navy. Based in Eschen as part of the Sea Battalion, these specialists handle one of the most dangerous jobs in military service. The Minentaucher Company fields about 40 active divers in the main unit with another 60 serving aboard ships and in ports. Their operational scope covers everything that makes naval warfare terrifying. Searching for underwater mines, identifying explosives, removing or salvaging underwater munitions, servicing underwater drones, and neutralizing weapons both underwater and ashore. They are also trained to remove explosives that enemies attach to ship hulls and underwater equipment. Selection and training are absolutely brutal. Candidates must already be serving soldiers committed to at least 4 years of service. They undergo diving medical examinations, pass stringent physical fitness tests, and demonstrate the mental strength to operate beyond normal human reflexes and pain thresholds. The training includes armed forces, boat licenses, naval underwater explosives coursework, and ship safeguard training. Most experienced men and orca also qualify as parachutists, helmet divers, and specialized single combat operators. What makes these divers truly elite is their safety record. Despite conducting approximately 9 real-world operations and 200 training exercises every year since 1957, the number of serious or deadly diving accidents among German mine clearance divers remains remarkably low compared to similar units in other nations. That's not luck. That's professional excellence built on meticulous training and ironclad discipline. 4. Diensteinheit No. Before German reunification, East Germany operated its own Tier 1 police tactical unit called Diensteinheit 9 or Service Unit 9. Formed in 1974 with approximately 200 operators, DIX was East Germany's answer to West Germany's GSG 9, specializing in counterterrorism, hostage rescue, and the capture of high V-value targets. What made DIX terrifying was their equipment. While operating behind the Iron Curtain, they somehow acquired Western weapons, including West German firearms, using arms dealers and complex smuggling routes through Bangladesh and Colombia to avoid detection. DIX teams typically operated in 10-man elements, conducting operations in East Berlin, Rostock, Leipzig, and other major cities. Their training took place near Verenweiser under live fire conditions covering combat patrol, counterterrorism, hostage rescue, helicopter operations, and VIP protection. The psychological stress was enormous. Candidates needed to demonstrate that they could overcome fear while operating in the most dangerous situations. After reunification in 1990, German authorities carefully screened DIX operators. Those who passed rigorous political evaluation were absorbed into West German SEK units, bringing Eastern tactics and experience to the unified force. Some of the modern SEK capabilities in states like Mecklenburg, Vorpommern, and Saxony-Anhalt trace directly to DIX operators who continued their careers in unified Germany. 3. Kommando Spezialkräfte Marine KSM. Germany's answer to the US Navy SEALs is the Kampfmer. These are the combat swimmers of KSM, the oldest German special operations force, dating back to 1958 when West Germany joined NATO. KSM operators are trifrog capable, meaning they operate in air, on land, and at sea. They're combat swimmers, combat divers, frogmen, parachutists, speedboat pilots, explosive experts, and trained in virtually every combat skill imaginable. About 80 of their missions occur on land, which surprises most people who assume they are purely maritime operators. The selection process is absolutely savage. Candidates must be German citizens aged 17 to 32, pass strict medical exams for diving and parachuting, and complete baseline fitness tests that include a 1000 m swim in under 24 minutes, a 5000 m run in under 20 minutes, and a 30 m underwater swim without gear. Only 30 make it through to the actual training. The first 4 weeks are pure psychological warfare designed to break candidates mentally. One infamous drill is bound swimming, where trainees have their hands tied behind their backs, their feet bound together, and are forced into a pool while wearing full combat gear. They must stay calm underwater for 30 seconds before safety divers pull them to the surface. Panic means failure. Then comes Hate Week, a sleep deprivation nightmare where exhausting runs and brutal exercises continue all night while normal training proceeds during the day. KSM maintains a 40-year exchange program with US Navy SEALs, with operators from each force regularly embedding with the other. They've also deployed to Afghanistan, the Balkans, and numerous classified operations that remain hidden from public view. When Germany needs maritime special operations, the Kampfmer are the only call that gets made. 2. GSG-9. Born from the ashes of the 1972 Munich Olympics massacre, GSG-9 was created specifically to ensure Germany would never again be helpless against terrorism. Operating under the federal police rather than military command in accordance with Germany's constitution, GSG-9 has become one of the world's most respected and feared counterterrorism units. The unit's defining moment came in 1977 during the hijacking of Lufthansa Flight 181. A terror group from Palestine seized the aircraft, demanding the release of imprisoned Red Army faction members. After days of negotiations failed, GSG-9 operators stormed the plane in Mogadishu, Somalia, in a 7-minute assault that killed 3 hijackers, critically wounded the 4th, and rescued all 86 hostages. Only one GSG-9 operator and 1 flight attendant suffered minor injuries. The operation was so flawless that countries worldwide requested GSG-9's help in establishing their own counterterrorism units. Comprising 400 operators organized into 4 specialized units. GSG-9 maintains capabilities that rival any military special forces. Unit 1 provides sniper specialists for precision shots in high-stakes scenarios. Unit 2 handles tactical diving and maritime emergency operations. Unit 3 specializes in free-fall parachute operations, dropping into crisis zones from high altitude. Unit 4 operates from Berlin, ready for rapid urban response. The selection process is absolutely brutal. Candidates undergo a 5-day assessment process that includes medical, psychological, and physical evaluations, as well as firearms qualification, interviews, and stress tests. Only 10 to 15 survive to reach the 4.5-month basic training program covering marksmanship, navigation, and high-pressure scenarios. Since 1972, GSG-9 has undertaken over 1,500 missions. Yet they've reportedly only fired shots 5 times. GSG-9 helped train the US Delta Force and India's National Security Guard. The unit operates worldwide, protecting German interests and conducting hostage rescues anywhere where Germans are threatened. 1 Air Force Regiment Friesland. Most people think Air Forces just fly planes, but someone has to defend those aircraft when they're on the ground. That's the mission of the Objects Regiment der Ruhr for Friesland, the Air Force regiment tasked with ground-based defense of German air bases and the capture of enemy air installations based primarily in deep holds and shortens, with plans for future relocation to Jever Air Base. This regiment operates wherever the Luftwaffe requires boots on the ground. The regiment is organized into multiple specialized battalions. Battalion 1 specializes in pure infantry operations with 4 squadrons plus an air defense artillery squadron equipped with Stinger missiles. Battalion 2 focuses exclusively on infantry tactics. Battalion 3 handles passive force protection, fielding specialized squadrons trained in nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare defense, as well as explosive ordnance reconnaissance. There's even a reserve battalion maintaining readiness for rapid mobilization. What makes this unit so terrifying is their unique mission set. Unlike regular infantry, Air Force regiment soldiers are specifically trained to operate in the aviation environment. They know how to secure airfields, establish defensive perimeters around critical aviation assets, conduct counter-reconnaissance operations, and if necessary, assault and capture enemy air bases to deny them to hostile forces. The regiment also hosts specialized engineering training companies that focus on air base damage disposal, ensuring runways can be rapidly repaired after attacks. These troops have deployed to Afghanistan, providing security for German aviation operations in hostile territory. They've trained alongside US Air Force security forces and other NATO air-ground defense units, building interoperability and sharing tactics. When German aircraft deploy to dangerous regions, Air Force regiment personnel deploy with them, establishing the security bubble that allows aviation operations to continue.